This story was found on Reddit. This happened a few years ago. I lived in a building with my daughter who grew up attached to my neighbor's husband as if he were her dad. His name was Teddy. One day, while talking with my neighbor's wife, my daughter, who was 2.5 years old at the time, came running to the door. But rather than running into my neighbor's apartment to go cuddle up Teddy, she froze at the doorway. She told his wife and I that we needed to be as quiet as possible and that Teddy was sleeping. Teddy was not sleeping. He was in fact on the couch watching TV. Teddy stood up and called for my daughter to come see him. Again, my daughter looked at his wife and I and told us that Teddy was sleeping and that we needed to be quiet. I could see she was getting upset at the fact that we were laughing while telling her that Teddy is awake and wants you to go sit with him. Teddy started approaching the doorway where we were standing. My daughter began to cry and ran in our apartment screaming, "No, Teddy's asleep." I could feel the goosebumps running up my body. That same day, my daughter went to a relative's place for a sleepover. I had invited my neighbors to come for a bit. Teddy came over and explained he wasn't feeling the best and how he was breathing in and out of a paper bag before coming to my apartment. I insisted he go to the hospital to make sure he was alright. On the way, Teddy fell ill and asked to pull over so he could be sick on the side of the road. As he was kneeling beside the car, Teddy suffered a major heart attack and passed away while on the way to the hospital. When the service was held for Teddy, I had such a strong feeling that I had to bring my daughter with me. She brought her favorite blanket with her, of course. When my daughter and I got to the funeral home for the viewing, we were greeted by everyone in Teddy's family. They all knew who my daughter was, as Teddy used to talk about her all the time. I held my daughter as we walked up to the casket where Teddy laid. My daughter leaned down, almost as if she was going to whisper to him. She then told me that Teddy was sleeping and that he was really cold. She took her blanket and tucked Teddy in, then looked at me and said how he was happy and warm now. That night, as I sat alone in the living room, my phone began to ring. 4, 5 rings later, and still no name appeared. I quickly answered the phone, in the middle of a ring only to hear the dial tone. The call didn't even show up as an incoming call afterwards in the logs. It truly felt like Teddy called to say goodbye. It was so strange that my daughter knew there was something going on with Teddy before anything even happened. A few months later, we went to go visit my grandmother, who was passing away from pancreas cancer. My daughter refused to enter my grandmother's room. She kept saying how my grandmother was sleeping and that everyone should leave her to go to sleep. I instantly began to cry. Only 4 days later, I got the call that my grandmother has passed away in her sleep. Hey guys, if you like that story, please leave a like and subscribe. That's the best way to show me that you want to hear more of these stories. And take care. You never know who might be watching.
Ecstasy, you the best YouTuber, bro.